Every time you tear a leaf off a calendar, you present a new place for new ideas and progress. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to yet another Orientation Day program. And this is Dr. Jaya, Associate Professor of English, the MC for the day. Dear students and parents, KCG College of Technology places on record its appreciations to you for making the right choice during this difficult time. My dear students, you rest assured you are at the right place and in safe hands that will mold your future. Prayer should not be regarded as duty which must be performed, but rather as a privilege to be enjoyed, a rare delight that is always revealing some new beauty. To experience the bliss, may I now invite Dr. Praveen Jo, Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to lead us in prayer.
You are my strength when I am weak. You are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. Taking you as a precious well, Lord, I would rather be a fool. You are my all in all.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen. The foundation course, MS Teams orientation program, virtual campus tour, orientation on KCG clubs, and many more would have given you a better perception about the college. However, for the benefit of the newly joined students, their parents, and the guests, I would like to say a few words about our institution and its head. KCG College of Technology, a unit of Hindustan Group of Institutions, was started 2 decades ago by our founder chairman, Dr. KCG Verghese, with a vision to make every man a success and no man a failure. Our institution is accredited by National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAAC, with A+ grade, securing a CGPA of 3.4 out of 4. 4 of our BE BTech programs, Mechanical Engineering, Electronics and Communication Engineering, Computer Science and Engineering, and Information Technology are re-accredited by the National Board of Accreditation, NBA. We are in the first position in Chennai and third position in Tamil Nadu among the non-autonomous colleges affiliated to Anna University, which were ranked by NIRF. We are in the 39th position in Tamil Nadu and 13th position in Chennai in the engineering category among IITs, IIMs, central, state, private, and deemed to be universities in India. But for the support of our management and guidance of our principal, we could not have achieved these recognitions. To introduce our principal, Dr. G. Prabhakaran has done his graduation in production engineering at the then Regional Engineering College, presently known as National Institute of Technology. He has specialized on manufacturing engineering for his master's degree and holds a PhD in production engineering. He has a rich teaching experience of working in India and abroad, which includes 12 years at NIT Trichy and 2 years at Caledonian College of Engineering, Muscat. I now request our principal to present his welcome address. Sir.
Thank you, Jaya Madam.
Welcome.
Respected Chief Guest, Professor Sivakumar from IIT Madras, members of the management, my dear students, parents, and faculty members, very good morning to one and all. I appreciate you all the students for choosing KCG College of Technology as your destination for collegiate education. I thank all the parents for the trust you have in us and assure your children will get a great future. At this juncture, I would also like to congratulate every student who has participated in the foundation program and extended your fullest cooperation for the successful conduct of the program. Knowing your college and its commitment towards education is essential from a freshman perspective. It will help you to understand its distinctive attributes and match its expectation. KCG College of Technology was established in the year 1998 by our late founder chairman, Dr. KCG Verghese. Dr. Verghese was basically an educationalist and philanthropist who pioneered in establishing private technical institutions with a vision to make every man a success and no man a failure. KCG College of Technology is committed towards imparting quality engineering education and developing the overall personality of our students. Our primary focus is on providing holistic education, and we give equal importance to curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities. We encourage our students to take part in the activities of KCG clubs, special interest groups, student chapters, and many more, which provide them the plethora of opportunities to come out in flying colors as successful engineers and responsible humans. We help our students to obtain placements and at the same time encourage them to become job creators. I will fail in my duty if I fail to mention our beloved chairperson, Dr. Elizabeth Verghese, has always stressed the need to prepare young learners to become job creators than job seekers, which progressive India is looking for. Dear students, such is the commitment of the institution you have enrolled into, and I welcome you again to join us in upholding the reputation of the institution. Dear students, when setting your goals, take time to figure out exactly what you want and follow these 4 guiding principles to reach future success. First, you need to understand your values. What are your principles you live by? What are your standards? Make a list of your values in your life, which may include family, friends, integrity, honesty, and others. Knowing your values is an important step in goal setting because they will be the foundation for achieving your goals. Number two, don't sell yourself short. Don't water down the goals thinking that certain goals are too difficult to reach. Means you are giving up on your goal before you attempt to achieve it. You all have the ability to achieve absolutely anything you want in your engineering career. Think deeply on the action plans and steps you need to focus on what you want, regardless of how unattainable you may think those goals are. And number three, know your personal definition of success. Personal and professional success is almost impossible to measure, especially if you don't have a clear idea of what success looks like. Many may have ambition to be a leader in any organization. The factors decide your success is that the specific number of projects you manage makes you a leader, or the number of people you manage might make you a leader as well. Once you have these indicators determined, you will have a better understanding of how to measure your definition of success. Number four, look at the big picture. Though your career choice and goals should be a driving factor in your life, you can't forget about everything else. A more well-rounded perspective would be to look at how these career goals intertwine with your personal life goals. Understanding how your career goals and personal goals relate and intertwine will give you a better idea of how to spend your valuable time reaching each goal. I would like to make appeal to the parents to follow the ways which will be helpful for a smoother transition and greater success in achieving the tasks of the adolescent developments of your wards. Why do you say is with the management, faculty members, parents and students all need to work together for the success of any student joining any institution. So we need to work in a tandem so that the success is sure. The thing which I like to make appeal to the parents are providing a stable, safe, and loving home environment, creating an atmosphere of honesty, mutual trust, and respect, creating a culture of open communication at family meal times, allowing age appropriate independence and assertiveness, developing a relationship that encourages your child to talk to you very freely, teaching responsibility for their belongings and yours, teaching basic responsibility for household chores, teaching the importance of accepting the limits, teaching the importance of thinking before acting. And parents, always please stay connected with the department faculty members. And at this juncture, I extend my cordial welcome to the chief guest and motivational speaker for today's program, Dr. Sivakumar M. Srinivasan, Professor of Applied Mechanics, IIT Madras, into the portals of our institution. And thanking him for accepting our invitation, being with us morning. I welcome you, sir. I welcome the members of the management. I also welcome all the parents and students to KCG College of Technology and wish all the students a fruitful stay of 4 years of happy learning, and assure all the parents that the institute will do its best to shape the professional career of your wards combined with values and skills. I welcome the deans, HODs, and the faculty members. Thank you one and all. Wish you all Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. KCG College of Technology believes in the concept of holistic education and adopts strategies that help learners to keep up with the changing times. We lay strong focus on integrating the 21st century skills into our classrooms that enhance the students' ways of thinking, learning, working, and living in the competitive world. We orient our students towards placement and training right from first year of their study and help them demonstrate their skills and knowledge during campus interviews. Both core and IT product-based, service-based companies visit our campus for recruitment. With an aim to uncover the content beyond the curriculum, we invite experts from academia and industry across borders. KCG YouTube channel is one testimony to show how vibrant we have been in acquainting our students with topics of relevance and importance. In this line of thought, today we have with us a multiple faceted personality. We can see in him a teacher, a researcher, a mentor, a counselor, and above all, a vibrant speaker. We are fortunate to have him as our chief guest to address our students. I am pleased to introduce Professor Shivakumar M. Srinivasan. Professor Shivakumar M. Srinivasan, fondly called Anbudan Siva, is a professor of applied mechanics at Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, for over a quarter century. He has also been a visiting professor for 2 years at the California Institute of Technology, USA, and for a brief period at the Texas A&M University, USA. Several of his students are now faculty members in top institutes around the world and in India. About 25 among them had him as their PhD thesis advisor. With over an H index of 20, he has published over 120 refereed journals, articles, and authored a few textbooks and edited volumes. He is a member of several national boards, programs, and committees, including Aeronautical Research and Development. He is also an editorial board member of several reputed technical journals. He is into a mission of nurturing holistic leaders of tomorrow who combine competence, cooperation, and empathy as their strengths. In the past decade or so, he has brought in several initiatives at IIT Madras. To mention a few: Mentoring for Inner Transformation, Wellness Center, Leisure Time Activities Program LTAP, popular curricular courses on personal and professional development such as happiness, habits and success, discovering creativity, fostering enriching relationships, and life skills. National Cultural Appreciation is another initiative which is similar to NSS and NCC. Next is a New India Internship Program, NII. Earlier Career Development Center, ECDC. Coach in the Code concept, Nirman, and an entrepreneurship program. In fact, the list goes on and on. Dr. Shivakumar is a patient listener. Over 1,000 students had shared their emotional difficulties with him with tears rolling down their cheeks. He has been extending his supportive hands and bringing a remarkable change in the life of the young with troubled minds. A strong advocate of practices of thinking with hands, he started a program for students of IITM called Engineering in Everyday Life. Fun with Engineering, a popular program tailored for school students, was a part of corporate social responsibility initiative, which was well executed for several years. He believes in action and not in awards and recognitions. It is worth mentioning that he avoids applying for awards and recognitions. Working towards bringing in positive change in the life of leaders of tomorrow is his motto. In a personality with lofty ideas and serious actions, there also lies a lighter aspect of life. Professor Shivakumar loves to play with kids. He also plays tennis and badminton. With this introduction, may I now request our chief guest to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jaya.
Welcome, sir.
Students, parents, family members, professors, instructors, and staff members of this prestigious college, Dr. Praveen, Dr. Devasundari, Dr. Prabhakaran, Dr. Elizabeth Varghese, and Dr. Varghese, thanks for giving an opportunity to be with you on this momentous occasion. This is the first day in college. To every parent who is watching this, it's the moment you have been waiting for. You worked hard to see your kid through the school successfully and enter college, that too a reputed college like this, so that they are now included within the 1% club of this population. It's a dream of every parent. And this is the first step towards paving way for fulfilling their dream also. Young friends, I just heard from your principal that you will get an opportunity to be in the campus to start the college. What more do we need as a boon in this COVID times? It's going to be new friends, new environment. It is definitely going to be an exciting journey. Many of us here as teachers, instructors, administrators, also graduate parents know what it is to be like in college. You can ask anyone about the days they cherish in their memory most. The first thing that will appear in their mind is about the days they spent as undergraduate students. To me also it was the same. It was unparalleled. Though 35 years have passed by, the memories of the 4 years that I spent in the institute are still green in my memory. So much learning, so much experiences, not to talk of friends forever. The networking is indeed very powerful. I have, I want to share a thought with the parents. My dear parents who are watching this, your role as a parent indeed has brought them over here. Congratulations. But then for the transformation to occur from being young adults to grown up ladies and gentlemen, you need to transform from being a parent to a friend and a well-wisher. I'll repeat this. For a transformation from young adults to grown up ladies and gentlemen, you need to transform from being a parent to a friend and a well-wisher. You had your dreams for your daughter and son. The dream is fulfilled. It is time to step aside and let them start for dreaming themselves. Move away from being hovering parents. I know online classes may occur, but it is important to understand that it is no more school. They are no more school kids. Give them the advantage of becoming a friend. Like the metamorphosis of pupa in the cocoon, which struggles hard and tears open the cocoon to come out as a beautiful butterfly. The struggle was very important. Without the struggle, the beautiful butterfly will not be able to fly. I'm not saying you completely step aside, but keep at a distance. Watch your son and daughter so that they are safe and feel safe. College is no school. It is and has been melting point for a transformation for many, many leaders. Allow that to happen. We have had our share of life in which we started taking decisions independently. If you go back in time, gradually that has to happen to them. And therefore we now from parenthood and become friends. Let me address the students now. Mind you, becoming an adult and that too a graduate comes with that responsibility. In a country like ours, not even 10% of us are graduates. And mind you, 1 in 10 of them are engineering or technology graduates. If there are foreign students, it is true in your country also. There is a responsibility to be a part of the development and growth of the society and the country. There is an expectation in the air. We cannot deny it. That expectation that each one of you becomes heroes of the developed society is important. Dr. Prabhakaran gave you 4 ways to uplift yourself. What I want to do is to share my thoughts, but through questions in my mind. Shall I? I wish to make it through a PowerPoint presentation, if that's okay with you. Okay. So let me share my PowerPoint presentation. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to see it? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So I've titled as Ettu Shurakai Kuttu Kodavad. I know I've written it Tamil, but I'll translate it now. It says vegetable drawn on a paper is not useful for a dish. If you draw a vegetable on a paper, it's not going to be useful for a dish, right? That's the paradigm with which I want to ask questions. The answers you seek yourself. The quest for answers is your job. Okay, so I'm going to share my questions, a few questions. Okay, just spare a few minutes um, uh, of your time in order to listen to these questions. Okay, a few minutes of undivided attention. Let me start with an anecdote. 10 engineering graduates went to a restaurant, sat around a table, and ordered, the first one that they ordered is a soup. So soup arrived, and they looked for the pepper and salt shakers. So one of them noticed that there were 2 holes in a pepper shaker and 3 holes in a salt shaker, which should have been otherwise wrong. That is, pepper should have had 3 holes, and salt shaker should have had 2 holes. So they thought, okay, they needed to correct uh, that. They wanted to shift salt to the shaker with 2 holes and pepper to 3 hole container. So in order to do it, you need one more container. So they called the waiter and said, we need one more container. Can you bring a container? To that, the waiter asked, sir, may I know the purpose for asking for a container? So one of the engineers explained why they wanted. Then suddenly waiter said, sir, I'm very, very sorry. I made a mistake, and went and reached out for those 2 shakers, took the lid off and replaced the lids, right? Many times, this could have been an answer that the engineer could have gotten, but that didn't occur. Why didn't it occur? Why did that question, why did that thought not occur? Okay, so stay with that question when I go to the next. My sister's house is also in Chennai. So one day I visited my sister's house. That was time when the semester was just over, and um, I thought, okay, I would spend some time with her. And so I visited her. So as I approached the door, I found that a bunch of very new books, textbooks were lying outside, as if they have to be junked off. Very surprised, I entered the house, asked my sister, what's wrong? I mean, there are new books lying outside. So sister also was puzzled, why new books should be outside. There's nobody who is going and coming and delivering books for us. So she called my niece and asked, what is it? Why are the books outside? The answer that my niece gave was this. My semester is over. All exams are over. I have done the exams well, and I don't have any use for this textbook anymore. Because she was preparing for the next semester. Next semester, this textbook was not useful. That's the thought in our mind. In fact, when I gave an exam to our own students, I asked them to draw a free body diagram of the one and only Spider-Man in his familiar position of, holding just glued to the glass door. Okay. And I also gave a free body diagram to be drawn for something like this. You'll be surprised that 90% of the students did not answer this and answered this. And therefore, my dear young friends, this is my first question. Are we compartmentalizing our lives? Are we leading a ritualistic life? Should we move away from that kind of compartmentalizing? That's the first question. Please keep the questions in your mind so that you can find answers later. If you look at these 2 tables, one is a longer one, which is to the left, and the other one is shorter, right? That's what our intuition says. But then if I do an experiment and take a cut piece of sheet and take it out of the shorter one and bring it to the other, I find that it exactly matches. Surprisingly, the two figures show the same rectangle rotated, right? Our intuition has failed. Look at these two that I've indicated as colors. The top color is brown. The color that is indicated below with with an arrow is sort of orangish yellow, right? That's what we see. Let's do an experiment and pull these out and look at it. Okay. So when I pull this out, surprisingly, it looks brown. And if I pull that out, that is also same brown. Two brown, but looking very different. My intuition has failed, right? And this is one question that arises in my mind quite often. You have this suitcases that come with wheels today. Should I pull it or push it? Right? This is a familiar question. I don't know how many of us have probed into this question through looking at this as a problem to solve and find out which one needs more force. I don't know how many of us have ever attempted like this. So my second question to you is, should we believe in our intuition, or should we build an engineering intuition, asking the right questions so that the answers build our engineering intuition in our minds? Okay, let me go to the next one. Aristotle once said women have less teeth than men. Do you want to accept it? Also, when in class, I told one of the students who was absent for some time, I assumed it was laziness. So I told him, given that both hostel and classroom are at the same level, physics tells me that one does not have to expend energy cycling from hostel to classroom. So come to class. How about that? Right? Now, I actually helped a puny looking boy put a center stand for a heavy bike. How did I do that? Watch this. I hope you're able to see this. I used the principle that he learned in his 8th standard on inertia and told him how it could be done. And he was able to do this on a very heavy vehicle like this. So, my dear friends, the question I have is, are we being bold in asking intriguing questions? Are we seeking answers to these intriguing questions? Are we kindling our thoughts in relation to these? There are many such things that happen in everyday life. Yes or no? Right? Think about this. There is a problem. I have a single block of ice. One side, you can fit 8 cubic blocks of ice with the same volume. That is, you have one side with 2 cubic blocks that can be arranged. I hope you can easily picturize. One side is 2 big cubic block width, right? You can form a volume with 8 cubic blocks because 2 cube is 8. And each cubic block is 1 foot long, let us say. Okay. And the total surface area of this 8 blocks, you can easily find out, right? And a single block also I know, right? Now, if I do it for a single block, I get the total surface area to be 24 square feet. Whereas for 8 blocks, it is 48 square feet. Okay. For the 8 block cube. Now, if I ask this question, if I take all these 8 blocks and put them together as one single cube or separately, which one of these sets will melt fast? This is a very simple question. Probably you would have done this well before your 10th standard, right? And we learned that it is possible to easily answer this question, saying that whichever has largest surface area has a higher rate of cooling, and therefore single blocks will melt away fast. Okay, and because that's what we do when food is very hot on plate, we spread it out, right? Intuitively, we do this. right? I don't know how many of you know this. There is what is called ice house in near Marina Beach. Okay, now it is called Vivekananda House. The reason why it is called ice house is because huge cubes of ice used to be shipped and kept in this ice house, and they took a long time to melt because the surface area was less compared to smaller blocks. But this is the lesson that we learn as a principle, right? But how many of us have applied this to the advantage of society? Let me introduce to you the Three Idiots man, Sonam Wangchuk, who created ice stupas to solve water problem in Ladakh. And the valley was experiencing as many as about 40, 50 villages were finding it very difficult to store water during the time when ice melted and ran away, right? And he created these huge stupas just by making sure that these are frozen stupas like these that are lying, and these melt away very slow because the surface area is less. Beautiful, no? The concept that I learned in my high school, I'm using it for the society, right? And therefore, this is a very important question I'm asking. Are we relating what we learned to daily life examples? Are we? Are we looking at how we can apply what we learned in daily life? Are we putting to use what we have learned, right? Let me go on to the next question. It was October 2005, October 29th. The next day was Diwali. You know how it is, day before Diwali, most people want to travel home. A Delta Express was traveling uh, down south of Hyderabad, packed with hundreds of passengers, eager to visit their close relatives. Night train, there were so many holiday makers that were sleeping. In the thick of the night, passing a town south of Hyderabad, Valigunda, some of you may know, it was passing through that village town, and just a few hours later, I mean before, a huge irrigation tank broke, and the gallons and thousands of gallons of water rushed down the channel and just breached away the bridge. The bridge was gone. The train was going to go over the bridge, and the bridge was gone, and the train disappeared into the gap of that broken bridge. Several coaches went into the deep water. Engine was just swept away. 300 of them died and 200 severely injured. You know what the transport minister says? Well, little could have been done to avoid the accident. Who is at fault? Aren't we ashamed as engineers that we have built a bridge that could break without thinking about such a calamity, an event could occur? Watch this video. It's a beautiful video. $20,000. Isn't it beautiful? This is also something that I know from simple physics that I've learned long time back. That you have the latent heat that stays for a long time. The very reason that ice melts over a longer period of time, right? Let me go to another one. In this, the student is an IIT student. In fact, I have to tell you that Chen and Rahul Panikar, who was our own student, I'm proud to state this, were partners in this effort that I told you earlier about incubator. November 2012, I got an email from a student, and this is his statement. Sir, in this last 3 months, it has been a very arduous journey. And, I'm going through a very difficult period, right? And I never thought it could happen to me. I've been a loser at every front of IIT life. I feel like I'm wasting a seat at IIT. Look at his thinking. My academics has gone really bad. And this is this constant bickering happening in my mind. And I feel that half my IIT life is over and not able to concentrate. I'm not able to sleep either, right? I often spend time just panicking. I feel like quitting IIT. I don't know where my life is going. I've lost all self-respect and fear. When I think of my parents, I feel disappointed. I'm feeling lost. Please show me the way, sir. This is a statement. Okay. So I wrote back to him saying that definitely. And he also said, I had to gather enough guts to send an email like this to you. And I humbly seek your guidance. So immediately, promptly, I sent an email to him saying that he is welcome to come and meet me. And we spent more than an hour sitting together, and I listened to him. 10 days later, after our meeting, this is the email I get from him. I'm writing this to thank you for showing me the path. I find drastic change within myself after practicing what you have taught me. I was in fear of not being able to live up to others' expectations. I realized I was letting myself to be bullied by the system. I believed that if I do not get good grades, I do well in other campus activities, I can't be successful in life. So I have to do both versus fear. And I think I have overcome it now. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. The beauty is those 1 hour of time that I spent with him, there's only one thing that I did. I listened to him. Just listen to him. So my question to you is, should we not use empathy to create solutions? Using whatever we have learned. That's why we are in college, right? Should we not listen to others empathically so that we get along with others to help others grow? Let me move on to the next one for want of time. What is so special about these people? A.B. de Villiers. Immediately what comes to our mind is a reverse sweep, the one that he invented and used it effectively at slog overs. And how about Dhoni? How many of you can remember Dhoni's specialty? Of course, yes, it is a helicopter shot. It is his own invention, right? And not to talk of Srikanth, who could improvise on sixers over point, and Sehwag actually improvised on it and made use of it in every innings of his, right? And many batsmen have started to use it now. Lastly, I want to introduce high jump. Was completely changed by Fosbury. Let me give it to you through a video that I've. Half a foot as a huge one. rest was history. This is what is happening before that. And Fosbury changed the whole way of high jump. And every high jumper now does the same thing of a backward flip. The reason why I'm saying this is this. I have is, are we not confident of our own creativity? Just give me a second. Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But voice is feeble, sir.
Are we not confident of creativity and to create solutions and be an inventor? That's the question I have.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, we cannot hear you.
1 second. Just a second. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about this. Let me go to where I left off. So the question we are asking is, are we not confident of creativity to create solutions and to be an inventor? I'm going to take perhaps another 5 minutes. I'll complete it, wrap it up. We have come to college for a degree. We mug from book, need to vomit in exams for marks. Vomit properly, you get good marks, else arrears. We seek jobs, we seek acceptance from companies, we get jobs, we work for the employer, ask the employer what to do and do it. Everything seems to be instruction based. When are we going to get out of this slavery? How is this different from British Raj? Did Gandhi ask what is to be done when he came back to India? Ask that question. We need to build a new self-reliant India. That is completely in your hands. Should we wait for someone else to do it? Are we going to do it by ourselves and make a difference? These are the questions I have. Are we going to keep asking, tell me what to do? There are so many other questions that crop up. Should we keep comparing with others or relish our own uniqueness? Should we ape the West or should we influence the West? For everything, are we going to wait till someone else solves the problem, sir? Are we going to keep complaining and expect the government to solve the problems? And more than that, and keep collecting goodies that politicians dole out during elections for votes? I think there is time to change. Let us move from instruction-based to experience-based and then innovate. It is possible for you, being in an environment like this. Ask that crucial question. There are so many common problems that people of Tamil Nadu or India or the world are facing. How do I find the problems? That's very simple. You take any newspaper, every article will be a problem. Do I think as an engineer and come up with solutions? That's the question. We have our share of problems. Should we not think of solving them? Whether it is earthquake, flood, drought, this happens every now and then. There is unemployment, but we are engrossed in casteism, politically vulnerable, swayed by politics. I'm very happy that today voters are moving towards developmental politics and therefore get politicians to think about it. We have the youth power. Nobody can deny it. Jallikattu was a classic example for that. Remember,
the story of temple being built. Just to give you an idea of the story, a visitor visits a temple, asks one of the masons about what he or she is doing, and she replies that she is laying bricks. He goes to another mason and asks, and the visitor gets a reply saying that I am building a temple. What a difference in the way they were looking at. So build your own temple, your own self-reliance. That's what is important. It is time for you to develop competence. Have a deep foundation of factual knowledge through the college education that you have. Understand the facts. And in the context of conceptual framework and in the context of facilitating retrieval and applications to real-life problems. Take control of your own learning. Nobody has to tell you what to learn, how to learn. Right? This environment is giving you an opportunity to learn. That's what is very important. And therefore, it is time to shift to self-learning. There are a lot of things that are helpful today in self-learning mode. Take college as an excuse. Where do I start? You don't have to wait for college campus, by the way. You can start anywhere because the entire world is my lab. Perhaps kitchen if your mom allows, right? That's the difference. Let's not just stay with knowledge. Let's go with understanding of the knowledge. Let's apply in everyday life. Let's analyze the problems and come up with solutions so that the country can flourish. This is my blog spot where I have shared all my thoughts. Please go look up whatever is worth. You can probably help yourself by understanding. There are many thoughts that I have poured into this blog spot. To end, I see you as a builder of tomorrow's India. Why tomorrow's India or the world? And I'm confident that my wish will be fulfilled. Am I right? Congratulations once again on joining KCG College of Technology and wish you a wonderful journey in this college so that you can cherish this for a lifetime. Thank you. These are my contact details.
Thank you, Professor Sivakumar, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, with lot of anecdotes, series of thought-provoking questions, and captivating images and videos, you made us sit glued to our seats. You made us realize that thinking does not happen in abstract. Only through constant questioning, we can stimulate our thinking and subsequently arrive at solutions, especially engineering solutions to societal problems. Thank you, sir. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others. Let us be grateful to those who helped us in making this program a success. I invite Ms. Bindu, HOD Science and Humanities, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jaya ma'am. A very good morning to one and all. It gives me great pleasure to propose the vote of thanks for today's Orientation Day program. I thank our management for having supported us always, especially during these trying times, encouraging us to venture into new horizons. My sincere thanks to our chief guest, Dr. Sivakumar M. Srinivasan, for accepting our invitation and addressing our first year students. I'm grateful to the principal, Dr. G. Prabhakaran, Dean, Student Affairs, Dr. Anita Manuel, and Associate Dean, Dr. Reva Sundari, for their constant encouragement. I thank all the HODs, teaching and non-teaching staff for their support. My thanks to Mr. Nibin for his support in arranging this function online. I thank all the parents and our dear students for joining us in KCG and for having attended this function today. Dear parents, I assure you that you have made an excellent choice and your wards will be under our safe care. At the end of 4 years, all our students will have a bright future. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you.